All right, guys, let's talk about a popular topic, which is, should livestock guardian dogs be able to guard poultry or not? So I've always been very, very transparent and honest with people. And if I have somebody that reaches out and their only intentional purpose to have a livestock guardian dog is to guard their poultry, a lot of times won't sell to that person because I don't want them set up for failure. I don't want them to get into a situation and then realized I wasn't prepared for it. I'm always, like I said, very, very transparent with people. So if you don't know, I breed, train, raise Anatolian Shepherd dogs, which is a ancient breed of livestock guardian dog from Turkey. And so yeah, it's not just Anatolians, but like all livestock guardian dogs, they were never created thousands of years ago to guard poultry. None of them ever were. These types of dogs were created by mixing all different types of breeds of dogs through very selective breeding, and thank God our forefathers knew what they were doing because they've ended up creating amazing beasts. But none of them were ever created to guard livestock, or I mean poultry. Livestock, yes, poultry, no. So goats, sheep, cattle, things like that. So is it possible for livestock guardian dogs to guard poultry? Absolutely, it is very, very possible. I have dogs on my farm that I trust with my poultry, but I never guarantee it, and I'm always very honest with people to tell them that that's more the exception, not the rule. For instance, here we have Samson, who is very busy having his 5th supper of the day. He is out right now in a huge, I mean, it goes way, way back into the woods there, but there's, you can't see them from here. They're all out there somewhere. But he's guarding geese. So there's a ton of geese out there living their lives, doing it, whatever it is that geese do. But that's his job. He keeps bad guys away, because for us, we have a lot of predation that comes way in from there and wraps all the way around here. And our predation would love nothing more than to have goose for dinner. So that's Samson's job, is to keep all the bad guys away. And Samson does amazing. I would trust Samson with, I mean, anything, honestly. He's the best dog on my farm. He'll never go anywhere. He's got an amazing backstory. If you ever are curious about how he came back into my life, it's a really good feel-good story. Anyway, his mom here, Athena, she has in here somewhere in this mucky mess ducks. In here there's a ton of mainly Muscovy ducks, but some other breeds of stuff too. And she's chilling with her ducks. Like, she don't care. She's like, I'll watch these stupid things if you really want me to. Does it have to do with genetics? I'm sure part of it does. Probably quite a bit of it does. And just honestly, I think being really dang lucky too. So why is it hard for them to guard poultry? Chickens, especially chicks, ducklings, goslings, all that stuff, they move fast. They're really flappy. They squeak when you bite them. They're just really fun, especially for puppies. That's like the ultimate play toy. So and then when they get bigger, it's kind of the same kind of thing. They're just kind of flighty animals that move around a lot and are unpredictable. I'm covered in mud. It's all up in my hair. Anyway, it's in my squirrel. Anyway, so it's hard for them. So I always tell people it's not impossible, but some of them never are capable of doing it. Some of them just never can. Some of them, it just takes a little bit longer, and some are naturals to it. So I expose my puppies from the time they emerge from the womb. They're surrounded in poultry, so they're used to seeing them, hearing them, being around them. And that's what then I continue or encourage people to continue to do when they get their dog, is just desensitize the heck out of them. And that doesn't mean just throw them in a pen of birds. That's not what desensitizing is. That's just the ability or the option to do bad behavior. I'm trying to see what she's alerting to. Something in the sky. Okay. What was out there, Mama? all my dogs do a really good job of keeping aerial predation away as well, because that's a big thing here. Samson don't care. He's like, I'm eating. Anyway, so yeah, it doesn't mean throwing them into a pen of birds and saying, good luck, get it all out of your system. It doesn't work that way. It's about having them on a leash, having them immersed just through a fence, so they just see them, hear them, get used to hearing them, how they move, all that stuff. And then on a long lead, just hanging out. Grab your phone, grab a book, and just sit and praise your puppy for calm behavior where they're not really acknowledging the animals at all. And just a lot of good job, we're gonna leave it. And then when they do get too interested and too keyed up on it, just telling them, no, we're gonna leave it, and take them for a little walk around, whatever, break that fixation on the object, and repeat that about 5,000 times. And eventually they will probably, maybe not, get the hang of it. So yeah, that's kind of my take on poultry and why I just don't advise it. My chickens themselves, those definitely, I mean, they're smaller. Geese are huge and intimidating. The ducks I have are big too. So they don't get as, I want to check them out and be as interested as chickens. So nobody is free ranging in my chickens. Easy, Floki. Anyway, so the way that my setup is, I have my chickens and then I have like my dogs guarding around them, so nothing can penetrate that fencing or those borders. My dogs get whatever would try to get in there with them. So that's kind of how my setup is, and how I keep them safe. I just keep temptation away so that things don't happen. And I still, even on my farm, I'm like, if a rogue chicken gets like a wild feather up her butt and decides she's going to fly into one of the pens with my dogs, I mean, good luck. Certain pens you're not coming back out of, I can promise you. And certain ones, they'll just ignore you and they won't care. But it's all very situational. So anyway, that's the long explanation of how I feel about poultry and how my setup is with my dogs and how I try to make it work.